Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian, and I'm here with my outstanding dynamic co-host, whose name is...
Lisa Marie Thomas. Hey, we are so glad you're here, and we just want to thank you for taking time out of your day for you to do something for you. And we will be walking you through some great, amazing steps. But we just wanted to say good morning and thank you for taking this moment and let you know that Brian and I are working together to help you be successful in having some positive health and intelligence in what you're doing for you and your healthy journey. So welcome aboard. And FYI, this is being recorded. If you should happen to miss any portion of it or you want to hear it back again because we have you registered, we can share that link with you. So here we go. Hey, Brian, did we have like an overview that we want to share with them of what we're going to be doing today?
Absolutely. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is a sustainable habit. So we're here mainly for two reasons. One is weight loss. So we want to help you with sustainable weight loss. I've gone from 380 pounds and minus 187, and I've kept it off in years. Now, the fun thing about me, which you may or may not know, is I had weight loss surgery back in 2011. And as my favorite sportscasters, Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann, used to say on ESPN, all surgeries are minor until it happens to you. So I had lap band and I lost the weight, and I did not keep the habits up. And I did not stay in my community, weight loss group with the nutritionist, weight loss group with other patients, stay in contact with other people who've gone through the same process. Then through a series of life events, I took a job away from home and very stressful working at a maximum security prison as a psychologist. And I slowly put on the weight over and over and over. And I don't do things halfway. I ballooned up to 380 and I got type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. My doctor thought I was going to stroke out. So I lost 70 on my own. And many of you have probably done that. You lose a portion of the weight, stay stable for a bit, and then get back into bad habits. So I decided for gastric sleeve surgery, and I've kept the weight off because what Lisa and I are going to integrate for you today is what's the mindset and habit formation. So what's a habit? What's a positive habit versus a negative habit? So a habit is something you do routinely over and over and over, and it's not even conscious anymore. You just do it. And so could be how you're holding a pen right now to take notes. Some of my work colleagues still to this day don't know that they're sitting and doing this with their pen. Click, 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 click. Could be when I get stressed, I eat something. Now, for those of you that are on board and have not had weight loss surgery, I know through friends and family, we want to help you stop two things: yo-yo, up and down, up and down, up and down, and spending money on the newest, coolest diet. And the single reason there's a new diet plan, a new food plan, a new nutrition thing for you to follow, keto, schmedo, caveman, plantain, fairyitis, whatever, is because they know people don't stick to things and you want the new shiny object. So Lisa and I are going to show you habit formation. So the way you form a new habit, practice the new skill minimum 3 times a day. And we're going to share with you a system that will help you practice 2 minutes at a time, 5 times a day, 2 minutes at a time, 5 times a day. And start that rewiring of when the stress comes, when the anxiety comes, when the tension comes, your first option isn't a food choice. If it is a food choice, we want it to be a healthy food choice, water or a protein shake or something without loads of sugar and loads of carbs. So the science behind habit formation is consistent practice. And if you do it over the course of 30 days, many people say the habit will stick with you. James Clear of Atomic Habits, BJ Fogg, Tiny Habits, Brian Grossman, Real Life PhD Habits, 90 days. And I think Lisa will attest to that. When you integrate it and do it 90 days, it sticks, yet we still need support and practice. So we're going to share with you how you can hop into a community a little bit later on. And then we're going to jump right into, right now, I believe, our next topic. So habit formation, practice, practice, practice. But if you can do it just 2 minutes a day, 5 times a day, it will really start to integrate. Now, something amazing happens when it's a positive habit. So, what's a positive habit? Something you want to do that is good for you. It's not pain avoidance. It's not, I have to. It's I want to. And so, when you do this, you absolutely start to feel better emotionally and physically within about 3 to 4 days. The key is to stick with a plan and keep the practice up. Okay. So when you can keep the practice up, all of a sudden you start having some very good, subtle changes in your life in terms of feeling better, knowing that you're making some changes. And what's really great is you'll notice, depending upon your follow-up, if you need it with your medical doctors, is you'll start seeing changes at your next blood test results if you do it in 45 days. That's how fast your body can adapt and change when you integrate some emotional habits with some new eating habits. Okay. So what's did you want to add anything to that, Lisa? And certainly keep
I was
us.
hoping with some technical difficulties in with a few people coming in. Thank you, David. Thank you, Trish, who's helping a few of them guide through. It is definitely sometimes you need to click the sound button down at the very bottom, and then that opens up the bar for you to click on the things. So hopefully they're getting that. But yes,
Yeah, you may have to go in and out. You may have to check your settings for microphone. Is it actually on? I know when Lisa and I were doing this the first time on StreamYard, I had my microphone on my laptop and I had my external microphone on, and who knew that causes extreme feedback.
right.
So,
Talking when Brian mentioned about habits, we've all heard many ways of putting that: habit stacking, habit repetition, habits, just being repeated. And what we're going to show you, the actual real habits to start small, start with something achievable. I know we said 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is what helps your brain rewire. But if you can only do 30 seconds or a minute, because as if any of you remember, when we first had our surgery, what did they tell us to do? Chew 30 times and wait 5 minutes between bites. Didn't that seem like forever? And most of us, anywhere from 2 to 3 years out, we wait about 2.5 minutes between bites now. But doing a habit for 30 seconds to 2 minutes literally does help rewire your brain. And it gives you that ability to be consistent long term. That's what we're going to help you with. And I know, Brian, we had a couple of people chime in earlier with their emails, and they had some questions, just kind of wondering how this is going to work. They've been on a gazillion diets before, and they end up back at square one. I'm thinking these habits are really going to be the catalyst to helping them finally achieve healthy living consistently.
Perfect. And so with that, let me share a couple thoughts. So thank you for that, Lisa. So a couple of quotes. So habit formation. We're going to give you some specific steps to follow. And here's what Lisa and I know, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but this is reality. You can watch this webinar over and over, and we hope you do, and remind yourself. But what really, really helps with habit change and habit formation is when you're in a community and you're in a system. So Lisa and I are going to give you an opportunity to join our community and offer you a year-long program where we'll meet with you every 2 weeks in a private group, and we'll share more details about that. However, let me just share this with you of the system that really works and with the habit formation. So the first tip before we get into the details, this is my 64-ounce jug. I drink water, probably sip every 5 minutes throughout the day. Keep myself hydrated. But as Lisa said, for weight loss, whether you've had surgery or not, do this. Starting today, do not eat and drink at the same time. So if you're eating a meal, take a bite, wait 2 minutes before you take the next bite. Set your watch, set your phone. Wait 2 minutes between bites. It's going to feel like forever, but you will feel fuller faster. Next, don't drink. So wait 15 minutes after your meal before you drink anything, water, soda, coffee. And then don't gulp, sip, right? So just try that. And I'm going to repeat that over and over. So let me share this with you. So
My pouch still has me wait at about 30 to 45 minutes after I've eaten before I drink beverages. But sometimes your mouth just seems like it feels very thirsty. If that happens, take a small sip because if it is not enough time passed between, it will tell you. But maybe you just needed a little hydration to help with the juices and everything. But waiting 30 to 45 minutes is a safe zone where you're not going to flush out the nutrients. But here we go. I love these slides. Go for it, Mr. Brian.
okay, so the system that Lisa and I want to share with you is called positive intelligence. Our subset of that is mental fitness. Mental fitness is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with positive rather than negative mindset. So something comes rolling downhill for you, towards you, life happens, bad thing happens. Sometimes our response is, woe is me. We call that victim saboteur. Why do these things keep happening to me? Sometimes it's anger and frustration. We lash out at other people. We call that hypervigilant. That's one part of it. And so we're going to help you get to the impact of integrating mental fitness, peak performance,
Mhm.
peace of mind, and healthy relationships. So what does that really mean in reality? In reality, what that means is when stuff happens that's unexpected, that's not the best interest for you, what you will start to happen almost immediately upon entering this program. Lisa and I went through this program, and by week 2 knew that we were going to get certified in this program and offer this coaching to other people. My stress level went from very high to now, when something bad happens, a positive mindset outlook is, how can I benefit from this? What can I learn from this? What's the best way to handle that? and it becomes almost automatic. And I know that that will sound odd. However, when you start handling curveballs and life challenges with a, how am I going to tackle this? What's in it for me? What can I learn from this? You start immediately, your brain starts going, oh, here's a solution. Here's a way to handle it. You find out that you start letting go of some things. So we're going to share with you a website where you can take for free a quiz and find out what your top saboteurs were. And lo and behold, being an overeater, controller, we all have what's called the judge, um, criticize us. We all have that critic constantly saying this isn't going to work. So to go back to the original question, when you start integrating these newer habits, why do you, I believe the question you asked, Lisa, someone asked was, why do we start and stop, start and stop? It is that lack of connection, community, and mindset. And when you have the mindset, I'm going to stick to this, and that becomes natural rather than I have to, this is drudgery, then all of a sudden things get a little bit easier for you. So I hope that answers the question. If you have more questions, go ahead and Lisa will handle those comments, and I'll also be looking in the comments. So moving on to our next topic. Go ahead, Lisa.
I was just going to say, we are going to show you some actual practical, real things to do. And one of the things that I want to share and have you understand is that what we're going to help you with is recognizing and actually silencing those inner saboteurs. Because when those negative voices come in, they end up fostering different things like self-doubt, maybe stalling, fear, all different things. But we want you to be able to actually recognize them. So we have a couple of exercises to do that we were taught early on when we went through the first part of the oh my gosh, the first part of the program that we're in, and I just lost the word of what that's called. Certified. uh, Sorry about that. But we want to give you these actionable, sustainable, real things to do. So if we dive in, what is it that we can do? The question is, how can I recognize it? What is it? What's the first thing that comes about or happens? And what do we say to that, Mr. Brian?
What can I learn from this?
Exactly.
What can I do to solve this rather than have it overwhelm me? So the first thing we'd like to teach you or share with you, teach and share, is I'd like everybody. So I see a lot of comments coming in. You're having trouble registering, you're having trouble getting in, you're having trouble navigating. That breeds frustration and tension. And you may be saying, what's wrong with Lisa and Brian? Why aren't they solving this? Lash out. You may be saying, what's wrong with me? Why do these things happen to me? So I'd like everybody who can, hopefully you're not driving, stand up. So everybody just stand up. Let's do our first mental fitness exercise together. So I'm going to stand up with you. And the first thing I'd like you to do is notice how great my stomach looks because I'm not 380 pounds now. What I'd like you to do, push down on your feet and just feel the ground under you. Just tighten your legs, put your weight down on your feet, and notice the ground under you. And if you can, wiggle each of your toes. Wiggle each of your toes and think, what is the frustration I'm having on this webinar right now? How can this help me? What can I do to move past this? Now, here's what happened. Just by doing that, noticing what's happening at the here and now in the moment, your brain changes its thought from either blame or attack, not attack, but lash out, to solution. Just notice. And another quick tip when you're doing that is focus on something in the room you're at. Focus on one thing. Could be the window, could be the curtain, could be a book. So feel your feet, wiggle your toes, focus on one thing and ask the question, what can I do or learn from this? How can I solve this? Or what's in it for me? What's the learning opportunity? Which is very different from the world is crashing down on me. These things always happen. Woe is me. Or what's wrong with them? Technology doesn't work. So it's external versus internal. And that's what happens in health. That's the shift in mindset. When you shift the mindset to how can I benefit from this? You start to make different choices. And in this system of making better choices and stop yo-yo dieting and stop regain, you will begin to ask, is this the best choice for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, when I was going through this, I thought, how is this going to solve the stress in my family and my relationship with my wife? How is this going to handle problems at my workplace and my day job? How am I going to help coaching clients with this? Simple, small, incremental steps in how you experience things. Less getting out of blame, getting out of lashing out, and asking, how do I move forward? What's the learning point for me? What options do I have? And literally, when you ask those questions and you're sensing in your body what's around you in the moment, you automatically start to make different decisions. Now, we're not going to be able to give you an 8-week course in 20 minutes. I just want you to focus on, if you practice this today, just standing up, feeling the weight of the ground under your feet, wiggling your toes,
Mm-hmm.
focus on that and ask, if you have a stressor, what can happen? I wish my wife was available. I'd have her pop in on the webinar. Her stress level and my stress level have gone down 95% in how we relate, how we communicate. When we have a conflict, we now ask, how do we benefit from this? How do we get to solution for both of us? Rather than, why did you do that? Blame, judge, critical, walk away angry. Now, life happens. We do get angry. We do get upset. The difference is, with a positive mindset, we move forward. And that is a huge lift, or dare I say, weight off your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So this program, this system, starting habit change, asking yourself, is this the best choice for myself? Feeling your body automatically starts rewiring. All right, Lisa, I went on a rant there. So
I was just going to give an example. When you are at home and you think you have the day planned out, your meals, and maybe you've even done meal prep the night before, and you have it all ready for yourself. The day happens, something goes on, and what you intended to do either isn't available, didn't fit, it broke, fell on the floor, spilled all out. In that moment, yes, you could have had a previous reaction, and your judge will spew out things of, see, that's how it goes. Every time you try to plan for your meal for the day, stuff goes off, or any of the other saboteurs saying things like, yeah, you really don't want that. You need to just go over here and get that. That's in that moment when you've had that happen. If you can just stop, take a breath, truly, they call it grounding. When you feel the ground, however you are, you're standing, you're sitting, you're whatever, but it's your feet. Your feet need to be touching the ground. that you feel the whole impact of the earth, so to speak. You feel that grounding. Wiggle your toes so that your toes can really feel the grounding. And in that moment, you've taken the breath, and now you're saying, okay, what can I do right now? What are my options right now with this situation? And that's going to put you in a healthy frame of mind versus, oh, great, there it went. Now what am I going to do? I don't have this. I didn't have that. Blah, 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 blah. And you're, the spazzy, crazy hamster wheel brain just spins out of control. But when you're in a healthy process of, okay, it was an accident. Okay, that broke. What can I do now? And I know some of you who are here, you do have options. You do have other items in your freezer already made. You do have other options, maybe even for later in the day. Switch it up. The solutions will come, but you have to give yourself that grace and that moment to take your brain and go out of panic and out of reaction into responding. And when we respond to something, 90% of the time, it's a much healthier choice and decision that we're doing for ourselves. And when you do these little practices several times a day, we've talked about another one in previous weeks of recognizing the saboteurs, of just rubbing your two fingers together, feeling the ridges of your fingerprints, just rubbing them lightly together for 30 seconds. That's taking your focus off of whatever's happening and giving you a moment to regroup and think of this thing. It's it's a habit. It's a habit that will take practice to build upon, but it's doable and it's easy. And really, nobody can even tell you're doing it. You can put your arms under the table next to you. It doesn't matter. You can do this, and in that 30 seconds, get yourself in a moment of regroup where you can actually move ahead into this. So we also want to help you have the blueprint to keep these goals. And you've all heard the acronym SMART. And Brian, we have a couple of tools that are just a little different, kind of the same as the normal SMART tools, but something that we believe helps in the healthy journey of your weight, whether you've had the surgery or not. And we are excited to share that with you.
So before we get into the SMART goals real quick, I just want to add, here's something, a little squish thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to feel your fingertips, I have this in my pocket, and just doing this changes your thought process right at the moment of the stress. So two quick things. We just came off a holiday that can be a little bit of a disaster if you want to maintain weight. Because right now, I don't know if any of you can hear it. I'm going to stop talking. Let me do any of you hear this, and you can feel free to comment on this with us. Did you hear that? That's coming from the refrigerator in my house, and it's saying, "Eat me, I'm cold and alone." And that's the leftover Reese's peanut butter cups that I gave out on Halloween. And I bought the big bag at not Costco, Walmart, of all the mixed candies, because I like giving those out. And I gave what I thought at the time, and I still believe it, the best piece of chocolate is dark chocolate crackle bar with nuts. So I gave that to the kids with the best outfit. And I even gave one to a parent who dressed up as a real ghoul who came to our house. My old habits would have been finish the bag when all the trick-or-treaters were gone. But I still have a third of the bag left, and I'll be giving that to my grandchildren when I go visit them next week. And that is what's called mindset difference and habit change. And for those of you who want to lose weight, you may not have the ill effects if you, quote, cheat. For those of us who are weight loss surgery patients, more than 10 grams of sugar and I'm nauseous. So you feel the effects right away. But that's the difference. That's what mental fitness will help teach you. That's what being part of a community will teach you is how do you overcome that habit of eating for stress or just wanting it or saying it won't harm me. That's how we fall back because many of us in weight loss and wanting better health, once we slip, we don't stop at that. We'll finish the bag or have the whole bowl of pasta or finish all of the cans of soda. It's a it's how hypervigilance, that saboteur and controller overtake you. It's all or nothing thinking. And so we want to show you those options. So I got off track. Smart goals for weight control. So SMART goals, just so people who may or may not know, specific, measurable, attainable, is it doable, realistic, and time bound. And so we've narrowed that down. So the first thing I want to suggest for all of you who want a healthier weight and a better mindset, as soon as you see a new diet plan that says you can lose 10 pounds in a week and be healthy, run. Because whatever that plan is, the moment you eat something normal, you're going to have 5 pounds back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose 10 pounds in a week, you're probably not going to feel really good. So even for those of you who are considering weight loss surgery, or Lisa and I who've had that when you go on the plan before the surgery, the month before, I'm going to say it for me was, as an overeater, was like, what are you, out of your mind, doc? Liquids. But I'm talking about water and chicken broth. That was the plan. So I lost 7 pounds. However, because you have to stick to the plan. So here's the difference between a positive habit approach, what's in it for me, versus negative. The negative mindset would have been, this is torture. This is awful. Why is he making me do this? This is crazy. Now, sometimes a negative outcome can be a very good motivator for you. So for me, I took the negative. If I don't follow this plan, I will go into the operating room. They will be able to tell right away, can't do the surgery. So beyond the expense, the cost, and the embarrassment, that's a hassle. So the positive approach is by following this liquid plan, being miserable, it really is only the first 3 days. What can you do different? How can I stay on it? What's in it for me? I started visualizing myself, and this is a very good mindset habit to adopt. Number 2, positive pictures of what the future looks like. And when we say specific, it can be at the end of the day. Do you look and feel different just by making these 2 minimal changes? Feel the ground under you, wiggle your toes in a moment of stress, right? And how are you going to move forward? What are you going to look like when you feel different, when you react to negative stressors differently? So the way we like to revise SMART goals is daily. Yes, I have weekly, monthly, 90-day, and a year-long goal setting plan. And that helps keep me on track. And so what we're going to share with you is we will tailor habit stacking to your behavioral personality style.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be custom for you. And then we're going to help you keep on track with reminders, with being part of a community. So SMART goals for weight loss is this. Here's what happens. And Lisa, chime in. I don't want to do a monologue. We get really excited and we start. And then literally by day 6 or 7,
Sometimes day 2.
yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to slip. I want this other thing. And so as soon as you feel, if you just stop, feel the ground under you, feel the fingertips. Now, remember, we're going to give you an 8-week routine here to follow. Crush something in your hand. The goal is, the SMART goal is pattern interrupt. Notice something different. Ask, is this the best choice for me? And you'll really start to make a change. What's the best way to take a step forward? So it's, I just saw a comment from David. Thank you, David, for your help in attending. One of my coaches, he's great, David Wetmore, look him up online. So crush something, do a pattern interrupt. Or another way to do a pattern interrupt, this is crucial for weight loss. No matter what your goal is, instead of eating something, have some water. Many of you have heard the term hangry. So one of my SMART goals is specific. If I feel like eating something, and I fuel myself every 2 hours to 3 hours, I have some sort of snack or protein or combo pack every 2.5 to 3 hours now. And that's become a habit. But if I'm not hungry, I sip water or drink something. And by doing that, your brain, you know what? I'm really not hungry. I'm full. And that's a critical thing I'd like you all to write down. If you've eaten something and an hour later you're still hungry, drink something. Let me say that again. If you've eaten something and an hour later you're still hungry, drink something. Now remember, we're asking you to adopt the habit of do not eat and drink at the same time. If you do nothing else after this webinar, and of course we hope you're going to join us in our program, don't eat and drink at the same time. And wait 15 to 30 minutes after a meal before you drink. You will notice immediately you're going to be eating less, you're going to feel fuller, and all of a sudden your brain gets the connection, because there is a disconnect between here and your stomach. And when you have that disconnect, your brain says, I want more, more, more. But your stomach's really full. Your stomach, everybody's stomach is just about this big. It's actually maybe a little smaller than your fist. So SMART, specific, measurable, attainable goals, not I want to lose 10 pounds this week. It's what's the ultimate goal? What's a healthy, realistic goal for weekly or monthly weight loss? What's realistic in setting a goal for being more proactive, more productive at work? What's a SMART goal for how to communicate better with family members or your spouse? So when we say mental fitness and peak performance, we're talking about interactions with better relationships, feeling better and more confident about yourself, an overall feeling of getting up every morning thinking, what's my new exciting change today? What can I look forward to? How can I help my family and work colleagues grow? It is literally an overall enjoyment when you do this. So I break down SMART goals in having little challenges for myself. That's what motivates me. What am I going to do to have enjoyment at work? What am I going to do to help my coaching clients? How am I going to communicate something fun to my wife today? So Lisa, did you want to add anything? Did I skip anything on the SMART goals?
No, you did great. I think my brain is saying, okay, Lisa Marie, what is an actual step? How can I incorporate this and do it? And something that we learned when we were first going through the certification and the course for this was what we're just showing you, and I'll call it self-command. It, to me, it's that moment of recognition, grabbing it and changing something. Change what you're looking at. Change where you're sitting. From if you're sitting, stand up. Change, just change, physically change something. And I love that Lupe asked a question about, does she have to take her shoes off? Well, most of our shoes allow us to be flat in them. And if you can kind of wiggle your toes. It's really just the mind. It's changing the mind to try and feel where you are, feel the ground. Interesting bit of information. I worked at the Disneyland Resort for many years, and Walt Disney purposely created different sounds, smells, and textures. I just got goosebumps in each of the different lands of Disneyland. So if you pay attention when you go there the next time, he knew that our energy and our body force starts from the ground. It starts from the ground up. And it depends on what you're walking on. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on the sights and the sounds and the smells going on that can trigger this. So if you can just grab yourself and command yourself in a moment of something, you're hearing these saboteurs, you're hearing the judge, I call it fat brain, my bully, you're hearing these different things, that breath, stopping and just changing. I've done this when I've been in the kitchen and something's not going right. I go to the other side of the kitchen and sit down because I just needed to feel the chair under my butt. I needed to feel the arms of the chair or the table. Our table is well loved, so it has textures on it. You just feel that 30 seconds. Then once you've done that for a little bit and you feel that moment, you can go, okay, now what? Now what can I do next? And another thing with that step is kind of naming what it is that you're hearing going on. All right, fat brain, I hear you, but that's not true. Or no, I don't have to fall to that. Or there you go again. Oh my gosh, throwing that silly comment out at me. Sometimes laughing at it is also just enough change. And it really is just a moment of doing something that rewires. It's called the reticular activating system also. That which you focus on is going to be your focus. So if you're focusing on negative, guess what? Negative and positive cannot work together at the same time. You're either thinking negative or you're thinking positive. And that's what we're wanting you to do. In the moment of negativity or in the moment of the bully, stopping, kind of centering yourself, whatever you want to feel or squeeze or do whatever. Okay, what can I do now? What is the next right step for me? Might not be the same as what I would do or what Brian would do, but in that moment, and in that moment, you may not come up with something. There's nothing wrong with you. That's okay. That's normal because it's not a practice. It's not a habit yet. Once you get into that practice and habit, things will come. Things will be clear. Your glasses, your vision will go, oh, okay. But it's okay to have moments of, yep, that didn't work. Now what? And that's where we want to help you navigate through recognizing what we're calling saboteurs. And I believe Brian has a slide that can kind of show you. We've gone over a few of them in the past few weeks, but a lot of you haven't been able to attend each week. So we kind of want to show you who they are, and we all have them. We have every single one of these to different degrees and different situations when they come up. So if I don't have my screen big, I can't read it. So Brian, if you could do it, that would be awesome.
Is that bigger?
It is bigger.
There we go. In this program, that's as big as I can make it. So our saboteurs, the controller, right now you're saying I could show Brian and Lisa how to do the webinar differently. The hyperachiever, I'm going to lose all the weight in a month. Restless, When are they going to show us the coaching program? Stickler, the slide isn't perfect. The lighting isn't perfect. Pleaser, oh, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm going to give in to let you win. The hypervigilant, oh, my laptop isn't straight. Oh no, the camera's falling. Hypervigilant really does two things. It can be really powerful to keep you on track. However, it lends itself to criticizing others and yourself a lot. Mm-hmm. And so we also have the avoider. We also have, pardon me a moment, sorry. So hypervigilant, controller, avoider, judge overrides everybody. Victim. Victim is when, oh, the world's coming down on me, feel bad for me, help me, and it blocks you from taking action. Mm-hmm. And then hyper rational, Spock from Star Trek or a robot, logic, 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 logic. And I really, really, really want to emphasize this. This is something that I've known for, it's really formed my opinion for the last 40 years. I learned this early on in my psychology career in grad school. And I want you all to memorize this. You cannot logic your way to permanent change. You cannot logic your way to permanent change. We are humans. Emotions override logic. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm perfect. I'll get my wife online to help you with that. But what I want you all to know is, do Lisa and I sometimes slip or eat the wrong thing? Yes. The cool thing about the weight loss surgery that I had is when I do that, I feel the effects immediately. However, habit change, positive mindset, what's in it for me? Is this serving me well? I don't close the bakery. I don't eat the whole loaf of bread. I don't have a whole pizza. If I gain weight, it's 1 or 2 pounds at a time over the course of a month, not 20. And so for those of you who haven't had the weight loss surgery, I absolutely guarantee you, when you adopt this system that Lisa and I are going to share with you, you will master the habits of what does healthy eating look like? What does making different choices look like? So now, with your permission, Lisa, I want everybody, if you can, stand up. If you can't, it's okay, sit down. But I want you to close your eyes. So everybody who's online with us, and if you're watching the replay, sit down or stand up, however you're comfortable. Close your eyes and take a breath in up to 7 seconds through your nose. Hold it. Breathe out. Feel your feet on the ground and ask yourself, what does my best self look like? Mm-hmm. What does my best self look like? What does my best self look like? And then say, I will get to my best self starting now. I will get to my best self starting now. Okay. Open your eyes, and if you don't mind, put in the comments, do you feel any different? It's okay, yes or no. Sometimes this works immediately. Sometimes we need to practice for 2 minutes 5 times a day. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what the game plan is. Absolutely. Lisa and I are coming from a place of failure, doing this over and over and over. And I think between both of us, Lisa, we've tried 150 diets, food
Easily.
plans. I mean, when I was at my peak overweight, I did one of those food programs where they mail you the meals and you just have to separate them out in the box and cook. Oh my God. I didn't even know what to do to cook the stuff. And I thought like some of the vegetables were going to go bad in 2 days. And that's not to negate some of the food plan programs that are out there. That's my style. Now, negative reinforcer, my wife has a hammer which fits right here at the side of my head if I buy another cooking tool. We have an Instant Pot. We have an air fryer. We've got some of the best nonstick pans made. I'm not buying any more tools, but having fun with cooking, having fun with meal prep, having fun with lots of choices. So this is it. This is the crux of the whole webinar. I know, and Lisa knows this, every one of you watching the replay and every one of you live has a best self in you. When you were at your best as a kid or a teenager or a young adult,
Mm-hmm.
you are not your weight.
Right.
You are not your health. You are you. You have personality. You have a brain. We are going to help you reintegrate that brain with that inner best you
Mm-hmm.
to bring that out again. And when we do that, we're not going to pull you. We're going to help you go step by step incrementally with us.
Mm-hmm.
And when your best self starts to experience feeling good for 5 moments a day,
Mm-hmm.
3 moments a day, 6 out of 7 days a week, and then when you know what rolls downhill, this is what some of us do when it starts rolling downhill, or criticism, or we feel attacked, or we feel that victim. We do this. And you eat, you know what? I want, and Lisa wants all of you to do this. When it rolls downhill, step aside. And if you're by yourself, not in a relationship, you go, wow, look at that. I think I should do something about that. Otherwise, we're going to have plague and flies. If you're in a relationship, you say, hey, honey, look at this. I think we should do something about this. Can we make a plan? If you're at work, hey, coworker, hey, boss, I think we should do something about this, or these bad things will happen. Very different outlook. Now, Lisa and I get angry. We get frustrated. We experience all negative emotions. Negative emotions aren't bad. It's two things. What will you do to not let them overwhelm? And what will you do with a positive mindset outlook on how to solve them
Right.
so they don't keep reoccurring over and over and over? And I will admit, it has taken me 5 years because I was expert at cheating and overeating and sneaking. And how many, I don't know if how many of you have a little food stash around the house, different places. The positive mindset comes in with, I'm not going to be resistant to change anymore. I'm willing to make the small incremental changes to make myself better, different,
Mm-hmm.
getting in touch with the best of you. We're going to pull that out. And so that is overcoming that inner resistance. It's, I'm not going to sneak anymore. And what took me 5 years is my family can now have a meal that I can't eat. And it doesn't bug me. I don't get frustrated. And I have my own little meal. Now, here's the secret. And I need you all to know this. And Lisa knows this. And I'm sorry, Lisa, I'm on a rant again.
Sorry.
Here's what happens when you start changing how you eat, what you eat, and people see the physical change, but they notice the emotional difference in how you're approaching things, they will naturally come along with you.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, everybody's going to be eating the same kinds of things. It's fun. It's powerful. you become innately a leader. People will be following your food leads. It's fun, it's exciting. And Lisa, please comment. I didn't mean to monopolize that.
No, you just kind of moved right into what we have to help. The thing is we don't understand that sometimes it's conflict. There's a conflict going on, and we need that conflict resolution. However, sometimes it's just in here and it's not outward. But if you think of the principles of how you deal with people outwardly, it then allows you to change and focus to have it coming inwardly. And there's truly my biggest tip and the helpful thing is really just recognizing that there is the bully, the judge, the whatever you want to call it. And when we say to do that change, you're intercepting, you're breaking through and doing that. However, just like you would do in a conflict resolution with an outward person, sometimes you need to hush up and zip your lips and just sit for a moment. And in the program that we went through, they call it the sage. Doesn't it? It's just a word that is your inner best self. And if you have a faith in any type of religion or anything, it could be God, it could be whatever the spirit, whatever naturally you have, that inner healthy, well self is what this sage is. And it's the positive wording, it's the ability to intercept those things that we all want to get to. And when you are living in that sage atmosphere, it, things are just like Brian said, it is so much more calm and peaceful, and you feel like you can tackle things so differently, or you have the ability to not have so many things to tackle because you have that confidence and that assertiveness and that healthy well-being in order to know what your boundaries and what your guidelines are. And in this wheel, you can see that all of the different parts of us that make up us are what we need to focus on at separate times. And sometimes they work together, but that's something that you need to know that it's okay. And you can't take on all of the world at once. We just can't. But having that moment of intercepting what's going on, having that ability to overcome a conflict. So, example, you're being perfect. Halloween just passed and things are coming up. You have this inner conflict that is also being fueled by people outside of you and around you, and they are saying, oh, just one won't hurt, just take a little, just one. Or now they make those candies that are like this big instead of this big. Just one. But if you can stop in that moment and say, okay, this feels like a conflict. You've got the good side and the negative side doing that battle, the little angel devil thing. You've got that going on. It's normal. It's natural. We all have it. It goes on all the time. We're calling it the inner judge. The judge is going to be doing something and probably bringing along all of the saboteurs, or at least a couple, to have that battle going on. But if you think of it like a conflict and you want to have a resolution as you would with somebody else, it really is stopping in that moment, time out, recognizing whoever it is that's yapping at you, calling it by name if you have to, make up a name if you have to, give it a person's name, whatever works for your brain to grasp that this is an emotion that's going on that doesn't need to define your actions because they don't define us. Emotions happen. We can breathe. Brian, you have a great quote of emotions, they come and they go, and we can live through them. But
Ah,
it's
let me.
yeah, go for it.
Well,
What?
my favorite quote, and the concept comes from hundreds of years of psychology and philosophers, but my emotions are temporary. I am not my emotions, and my emotions will pass through me. So you're not the victim. You're not the hypervigilant. You're not angry. You are Dawn. You are David. You are Brian. You are you. And we're going to bring out the best in you, that inner greatness back out. And the reason I showed that circle is I know some of you are thinking this is woo woo. This is based on 25 years of factor analysis. This is based on Lisa and I's 14-year journey combined through trying everything. Both our approaches. This is based on my 30-year career as a psychologist. This is the formulation to how to help you all bring out the inner best selves. Because Lisa was commenting, or, we both want to talk about, conflict. Conflict happens. I get a thought in my head. I am the creative, and I have to focus on staying on track, not going after the next new shiny object. And wife keeps me on track with that. Lisa keeps me on track. But here's what happens. I get this idea. It's like, I got to let Lisa know. I need Lisa's answer. I text her and I email her. And I'm like, why didn't she email me back? It's been 5 minutes. Why am I not her top priority? And then my wife, now every guy on this webinar and every guy watching the replay, you can email us. We have our email there. But anybody online, if there's any man on the webinar with us, I want you to type in the comments, what are the worst 4 words when you're talking to a female that you don't want to hear? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to post those. What are the 4 worst words where we all go, oh no, the world is ending? So I'll give you 4 words. But conflict happens. Conflict is normal. All conflict is a difference of how we view a certain point. Now, there can be conflict that escalates over and over and over and over, and we're not moving forward. That's when the pleaser comes in. We give in. All right. 4 worst words in the English language to every man: we need to talk. My wife says we need to talk. I think, oh my God, are we getting a divorce? Are you going to leave me? What did I do wrong? She says, no, I need you to pick up the dry cleaning. But that judge and critic jumps right in. And so when you have the mental attitude, positive intelligence, mental fitness, oh, my wife needs to talk to me. What's in it for me? What am I going to gain from this? What can I learn? How are we going to grow? Now, a little bit of anxiety is normal, guys, so keep that going. And so what happens is that conflict, is this good for me or not? So in the program we're going to share with you in a few minutes, I didn't label it. It is called DBT, the heavy psychology, dialectical behavior therapy. Oh my God, are they going to put us through therapy? No, we're going to put you through coaching. But we're going to teach you how do you deal with 2 opposing thoughts. Something can be good and bad at the same time. My wife wants to talk to me. What can I gain from it? Versus my wife wants to talk to me. We're getting a divorce. Good and bad. Is it good or bad that I eat this? Now, let me give you the funniest one that I love from my favorite comedian, Lewis Black. There's all sorts of research going on. And what happens in today's I need it now society, I have to have the answer. Nobody takes time to analyze.
Right.
Ready? Here we go. Is milk good or bad for you? Depends on your system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of going less dairy and feeling better. I'm experimenting with almond milk, and I'm going more plant-based just because we know our diet is not the healthiest in America, but that's a whole different seminar. So I'm experimenting with some different things. But Lewis Black did a comedy show years back. He says, milk good or bad? No one knows. And he says, that's the problem. So is butter good or bad? And that changes. So it depends on your system and your health goals and your needs. And so there's this constant conflict of so many inputs.
Mm-hmm.
What's best for you is what we're going to help you make the right decision. And to go back to what Lisa was saying, that is the definition of sage thinking. Sage thinking is a combination of almost every philosophy and religion that is in the back of our dinosaur brain. It's in all of us as human beings. That's why when you go through this program with us, you're going to say you're speaking my religion because it is part of that embedded in us in humans. So
Mm-hmm.
conflict is good. Conflict is bad when it's over and over the same discussion or argument and you're not moving forward. And we're going to help you take that step forward. Right? So,
Exactly. In more detail, of course, in a program that we're going to offer you that does that, but we also want to give you something now and let you know that yes, recognizing the saboteurs, the judge, and all of that, but someone just said, but what the heck is this sage and what are these? Well, Brian and I kind of look at them as superpowers, and they are things that we all do have in us, just like all of the saboteurs. We do have these abilities in us, we just haven't utilized them. Sometimes we utilize them outwardly with others, but we need to start utilizing them with us. A main power is being able to empathize. And Brian's talked about it, explore. Another one is innovate, and then navigate. How about that? Navigate and activate. But if you can just focus on a little chunk of these, empathy is it's about showing feelings and appreciation, compassion, forgiveness. Empathy really has two targets. It's yourself and others. And most of us who are on a healthy journey, have had a past where we haven't had much empathy on ourselves. This takes practice to build up as well. And it's very much needed, but it's very much a core of that superpower strength of the sage or the spirit or the whatever. And I've heard that voice many times on myself. Give yourself a break. Take a breath. Step back. It's okay. And I like that too, that the sage helps us have our highest success. It helps us have and I get it. I have Pollyanna syndrome, and I have really thick, rosy glasses. That's just me. That's how God made me. I know that that is behind a lot of what I do and how I do it and things like that. But if you can understand that when you're trying to give yourself empathy, and maybe the judge jumps in, the judge is going to come in and tell us that empathizing with ourselves is counterproductive, or you just need to be tough on yourself. You need to deny yourself this compassion. If we don't empathize with ourselves or with others, it it builds a wall, it builds a block, it builds it stunts us from getting healthy. So when we do work with people individually or even in a group, it's trying to do a little bit of role play, a little bit of examples. This is when that happens, this is when this is said, and this is how that comes in. But if you can give yourself a little bit of compassion And then, like Brian has said many, many times, when we ask ourselves, what can we do next? That brings about a bit of curiosity. And maybe a lot of us have gone, we're adults now, you know, we're in our prime of our life, and we've forgotten how to be curious about things. What if this? What if that? And not in a negative way, but in a positive way of having ourselves do this. And one of them was that, so there you go. There, if I love that slide. When we're in that part of our brain where we need that empathy and that compassion, and we're trying to figure it out and be a little curious, what positive emotions are in this, or what could be peaceful and calming? How can I be clear-headed in this? These are things that help us move forward in healthiness. And I know you had a great way of bringing that about in someone too, Brian. If you can share that example, that exercise, because that's what I think we need. We need to know that we're normal and that there's a way to get out of that bully and get into more of a healthy mindset. And to do that is with these little tools of
Sure.
yeah.
So with that, so the exercise is, one is to bring this out of you. It is literally pattern interrupt. So it could be a rubber band on your wrist. It could be squeezing your fingers together. And here's what really happens in real life. So sage thinking is when we move from negative to experiencing positive emotions, we make decisions in a calm manner, clear headed, not out of anger, not out of judgment, not out of get back, not out of being victim. And we operate in 5 ways. Sage thinking is creativity, innovation, activate, empathy, and curiosity,
Mhm.
versus judgment, victim, hypervigilant, right? And so that's what really the system is. So the exercise I like to teach people is, have you noticed in your life, you've noticed people who just, they're on autopilot, they respond to crisis situations really well because they're clear-headed and calm in the moment. They don't get to overwhelm in the moment. They'll let the overwhelm happen afterwards. And we notice this at work, in relationships, in sports. It's all around us all the time. So literally, it is stop, feel the moment, don't overreact, don't make a decision at the moment. Even if the house is on fire, you still have to make decision, what exit are we going to go out? Not just run into the flames, right? And so if you can take 2 seconds to think, is this the best decision for me? Pattern interrupt, all right? So with all of that, the takeaways we want you to know: don't drink and eat at the same time. Take 2 minutes between your bites of food. Is this the best journey for me? And now we want to ask you, do I want help? Am I willing to take a step forward and make permanent change? So Lisa and I would like to share with you a year-long coaching program. Now, not a year-long everyday 365. Yes, you're going to do that. But let me share the details of this program. So share the screen, present.
Lupe made a comment that's nice. Paint your face with a smile and with the colors of hope and success. And that is a definitely beautiful way to have that face.
I agree. Thank you for that. So our whole program is anybody can shed pounds, but sustaining your weight loss is our gift to you. So we want to kickstart you starting. We're actually going to start the first week of December. Now we're going to put you through some pre-coaching before that. So you're ready to tap into your full potential and embark on a forever lasting wellness journey. What are you getting when you join us in this package? You're getting the first male, female mental fitness coaching team in the country, dare I say the world. We're going to teach you cognitive behavioral therapy, not being your therapist, your coach. What does that mean? We're going to change your thinking, change your behavior. Your emotions are going to catch up. We're going to teach you how to deal with the conflict of two opposing thoughts of whether they're good for you or not. So cope with those opposing thoughts and integrate positive intelligence. How do we get out of these 10 saboteurs constantly sabotaging our success, repeating the same mistakes over and over, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, wasting money on the new $400 food plan that we know we probably won't stick to. So what we're going to offer is a 6-week foundation where 5 times a day for 2 minutes, you will be able to practice and integrate positive intelligence and mental fitness. It comes in an app with reminders, and Lisa and I will coach you through each week, one evening a week, and those sessions will be recorded. So what are you going to get in this year-long program? Enhance relationships. Forge deeper, more impactful connections in all areas of your life: work, home, personal, dating, better marriage. And I've experienced that myself going through this. Peak performance, both personally and professionally. Utilize methodologies to unlock your potential. Bring the inner greatness of you out. Say goodbye to emotional eating. Say goodbye to emotional eating. We're going to arm you with strategies that curb stress and help you shift habits to better nutrition. Most importantly, private group access. Now, what do I mean by private group access? This will not be a group that's on Facebook or LinkedIn that people can see. You'll be in a private group. No one will know you're in it unless you want to share it with them. But you will be in a completely confidential setting. We're only going to have groups of 10. So the largest the group will be is 10 people. All the coaching in between your app will be recorded. We have a nutritionist that Lisa and I personally picked that will give you expert tools to help you on your wellness journey. We're going to meet twice a month to teach you the system, teach you permanent habit change. In addition, we're going to give you 90 days, 3 months past the 12 months to really make sure you can get to autopilot. Autopilot in relationships, communication, conflict resolution, eating well, handling emotions. You're going to get 2 free ebooks. And in between the 2 sessions, you'll have 24/7 access. Now, for some reason, Lisa and I do sleep, but we will get back to you. You'll have access to ask questions, or if you're feeling hijacked, and one of us or both of us will get back to you. Now, normally, this costs $10,000. We're offering you a holiday special for $7,000. Now, sometimes with technology, things don't happen. So if you go to Weight Loss Mindset Coach .now.site. You don't have to put the /home, but you can. So if you copy that, you'll scroll down and you will see the pay link, and it's only available for $7,000. Monday, there will be a page up that offers you a payment plan. Lisa and I want to make this as easy as possible. So the program we can fit you in, you can make payments for 2 years or 3 years and pay it off in between. So we're talking about less than $300 a month. Now, I want to guarantee you, when you enter this program, you will begin saving money week 1 because you'll be spending less on food. You will begin feeling mentally and emotionally better by week 2. If for any reason, after the first 30 days, you're unhappy, we will refund your money. However, the only caveat to that is you have to do the exercises. So if you do it and it doesn't work, we'll refund the money. So we're going to break the payments up in how you want, 24 months. So what I want to ask all of you to do, if you can pay now up front, we will give you 6 months of free coaching after the year. You won't have to pay for that. And you can go online and do that right now. Or please, if you're interested, email Lisa and myself today, tomorrow. You have Monday, up to Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Let us know you're interested. I'll have the new paywall up if you're interested in doing this. So we'll have that payment plan up on the webpage for you, or email Lisa and I and we'll get back to you. And again, what are you getting? You're getting a private confidential group, only 10 people per group. You're getting the best in transformational change to stop yo-yo dieting, to stop weight gain. Now, when I say weight gain, yes, you might gain a pound or two here and there. You might gain 3 or 4 pounds, but you'll easily take that off. We're talking about keeping the weight off permanently. And we're talking about having a mindset outlook where you are positive, happier, dealing with conflicts and life's curveball at your best self consistently. This is based on 25 years of factor analysis from Stanford University, my 40-year career in mental health, Lisa's career in weight loss coaching. So you're getting expertise we believe you can't get anywhere else. From, dare I say, from an ego standpoint, 2 experts that have learned through failure. We know where you live. We know what it's like to argue with a spouse. We know what it's like to lose a job. We know what it's like when people look at you. We are a visual society. You are judged on your looks. We're talking about permanent change. And if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I don't know why I'm unable to share this. Let me try it one more time and see if it will let me. I can't get the picture to come up, but I will email you my best at 380 pounds, a blob, post-divorce. And I almost put Olive Garden out of business when they had their all-you-can-eat breadsticks, salad, and pasta. Because I would get the 10 taco box on the way to my next city, traveling to a seminar, set up my seminar room, change clothes, and go out to eat for dinner. So I'm an expert at what to do wrong. But I've also learned now on how to not repeat those mistakes. And
Right.
Lisa and I know how to help you communicate better with yourself, because when you make an internal shift, everybody around you will notice it. But we don't want this to be a 90-day cool thing. We want to help you integrate over the course of a year permanent change where you are happy, outgoing, achieving your goals, and they stick. So please email us if you know you want in. and you want a payment plan, we will make it work for you. We want to make this absolutely doable for you. And with that, we have a few more minutes for questions, comments, remarks, anybody.
We did have a question if this was covered by insurance, and I said, not yet, not at this time. It's in the works, but there's a lot of different hoops to go through when it's tied to an insurance or a medical facility. But we are willing to work however works best to help, because we've been there. I've been there in those shoes going, I need this, but what can I do? And
And if this
that's
year-long program, if just email us, give us your email and your phone number, we will contact you. We'll talk to you about how we can make this doable for you. We absolutely want to make this work. And I know we can help you save the money to make the monthly payments to make this work. Something you just mentioned, Lisa, that we forgot, well, I forgot to mention. There is a lot of stuff going on right now with people taking medications for weight loss. I want you to be crystal clear on this. You can Google it. 92% of people who go on a weight loss drug, when they stop, gain their weight back plus more, because you have not made the emotional shift
right.
to stop eating. And if a pill could work, Lisa and I wouldn't be here. And I'm not an MD, but if you just Google negative side effects of the new diabetic medications, when you're not a diabetic for weight loss, they are astronomical. So yes, consult with your doctor. If you feel like you want to do that, do that. But let's do the mental fitness part so that when you do go off the drug, you keep those habits.
Exactly.
It is all about emotional fitness and habit change. And we want to help you. So email us, say interested in the coaching program. We'll make an appointment with you. We will make this work. Let us know if one of you wants to jump in and you know that 100%. I'll have the new paywall up Monday. And again, we'll make it doable for you. Again, if you're able to pay the full amount, we will give you 6 months additional to the year. So you have 18 months of coaching for the price of 12. And then here's the dirty little secret. Anytime you need help after, we'll be here for you.
Right.
So let's do this. Let's make transformational change. Anything else you would like to add, Lisa?
No, I truly hope we've given you some helpful tips and tricks or tools that you can use them, you can implement them, and there will be change. It's it really is practice, and we've been out of practice for however many years with all of the different things that we've tried from other people. And I think that's what's unique about whether you've had weight loss surgery and you've had a surgical intervention to help you with your healthy journey, or you're doing it on your own, but you're trying to do it, healthy with your activity and your intake and things like that. Our understanding and our goal is to help you see that these little steps add up to big results. And it doesn't all happen overnight. We all didn't get 300 pounds overnight. So there's things that we can do that will incorporate that success. And we're grateful that you showed up for you. And we will have this on a replay. It'll take a little bit to save it and then be able to download it. So if you want to see how to engage the sage aspect of it, if you want to know what those different superpowers are, basically, or if you just need help with recognizing a judge and the accomplices that go along with that, it all takes practice, and it
Yes.
is doable. Just kind of like our meals. I eat 6 meals every time. These habits are just like that, small increments several times throughout the day. You can do this type of, what do they call it? What do they call it when you meditation? You can do this type of meditation for 30 seconds anytime, in a crowd, at work, in the car. It doesn't matter. You don't have to set aside an alone time to be able to get into that moment. It really only takes 30 seconds to 2 minutes to kind of refocus and grab your attention to do something different. And
Yes. So Trish asked the question, will we have any lecture or book to read outside the program? Please email both Lisa and I, and we can share with you some different outcomes. I want to challenge everybody on the recording and live. So we've shared 5 concrete steps. Wait 2 minutes between bites. Do not eat and drink at the same time. Stand up. If you can, take your shoes off for a moment. Feel the ground, wiggle your toes. Ask, what's the best decision for me to make right now? Visualize, what's my best self look like? What does my best self look like? Pattern interrupt when you feel like you're going to lash out or you're feeling perfectionism is stopping you from making progress. And get out of victim role by saying, what can I do to help myself? Take those 5 steps. I guarantee today you're going to try them. Tomorrow they will last. Monday you will forget. Email us. If you stick with them for a week, let us know. If they drop off, let us help you with this program, or we will find another program with us that we can customize for you to fit you in. And I guarantee you this, even though we're starting the first week of December, we're going to enroll you and help you so that you have a very successful Thanksgiving weekend by giving you some concrete steps to take now. So everybody, thank you for watching live. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching the recording. Email us, brian@drbrianspeaks.com and weightlosssuccessaaa123@gmail.com. And let us share our expertise with you and find a way to help you through repeating these same mistakes over and over. Get out of regain, weight gain, yo-yo dieting, and live your best self. Think of what it would be like to be happier, experience positive emotions, and be solution seed oriented, curious, innovative, empathy, creative, not judgment, in making decisions on a consistent basis. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Lisa, for your time. And we're going to end the stream now. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.